Hello, 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 hello again. This is George F. Grundy II, your favorite veteran. And you know, I've been spending these last 3 days in Port Huron, meeting some incredible people and learning a lot of history and just being humbled by the experience here. And I have another person that I have run into that has a dynamic story, and I begged them to just share a little bit of it. Like I rolled on the grass and said, please, please, please. And so she said she would share a little bit of it. And y'all gonna love this story because it's a dynamic story. And you know that term, black girl magic, she has that. It's black woman magic though. You know, she grown. But it's amazing, it's beautiful, it's inspiring. And I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to let her introduce herself and start to tell her story. Thank you. Hello.
Hello, my name is Tonja Anderson-Dell. I'm from Tampa, Florida. I met George at the Lieutenant Moody's celebration. He wanted to hear my story, wanted you guys to hear my story. My grandfather went missing in 1952 in Alaska, going from Washington to Anchorage, Alaska. The plane crashed into a mountain peak and speeded up to 1999. I wrote my first letter to the military because what I couldn't understand is with the technology that we have today, if you can find the Titanic, why can't we find these planes that are missing? Speeded up, and I refused to take no for an answer. And in 2012, a Black Hawk team doing a training mission spotted something on the glacier, and next to it was a dog tags to the pilot. They would take that information that I had given them and was able to identify my grandfather's plane. I've actually went up and take a look at the mountain where he actually crashed into, and I would later, a couple of years later, identify and name that peak, Globemaster Peak, after my grandfather and the 51 other souls on that plane.
So wait a minute, you're telling us that you got to name a mountain peak?
Yes, I did. I got the right people in place. I went to state of Alaska, the Mountaineering and the United States Geological Survey team. They got together and I submitted my proposal and asked them that would they change. These men made a sacrifice for our country, whereas that our country have not did right by them because they did not hold true to leaving our falling behind, because they have left these 52 men behind because they don't fall in the pool with the rest of your MIAs and POWs. So yes, I named that mountain peak.
That's amazing. I'm still listening.
I would later go on to hear them talk about me, and I went on Capitol Hill, and I spoke on Capitol Hill with a bunch of your colonels and your lieutenant people and representatives. If you're going to talk about me, I needed to defend myself. My fight wasn't about just them, it's about all of them. You left these men and you say because they're going from one duty station to another, they don't get the same recognition as the ones who died serving their country in war. And that's not correct. You asked us to give our lives and defend this country. I thought the country should do the same. And that's what my fight has been. I have also been to Alaska. I was just there the past 2 years looking for several missing military planes. And I said to myself, I can't get out there and ask them to do this if I haven't done it myself. So I came back from Alaska last week, and I was out there looking for a C-119 that went missing in November of 1952. That required me to get into a small Cessna and go from one place to another in between mountains, actual snow, and do all these things. And it meant a lot to me to be able to do this and to show my kids that we can do this, I can do this, and leave a legacy for my kids.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Anything else in
And I would like to say, in the midst of all this right here, they have identified my grandfather, and he was returned home after being missing almost 70 years. And today and every day, I wear his dog tag, and this was around his neck when he lost his life in 1952.
Now, I need you to go in the trunk and get that book so you can show them the picture, and you can show them the picture you took of the mountain peak, and they understand that you're not only...
I'm not only a researcher, fighter, advocate, but I also am an author. I wrote this book. It's called Gifts from a Glacier, The Quest for an American Flag and 52 Souls. The American flag was for my grandmother because my grandfather had not returned home, and because they did not have a remains, she refused to take a flag and accepted he was not coming home. Well, she was in the process of dying from cancer, and she said she's ready now. So my quest for the American flag and the 52 souls that died on that plane. But when I designed my book, that glacier picture that you see in the back, that is the picture I took myself while doing research and getting a chance to see the crash site that held all these souls for all these years.
So the picture y'all seeing, this is all mountain range, glacier. mountain range glacier, and she took the photo herself. She hit click and took that herself in Alaska. You can't tell me that's not hard. That's not gangster. Come on.
And so I tell everybody, you know, people will tell you no, and you don't always have to take no for an answer. You'll get a yes. It may not be when you want it, how you want it, but at some point you will get that yes, even if you strive very hard to get it. Just be determined, because I was determined. I had a chance to sit down. In the beginning, no one would listen to me. Last week, I got to sit down with a 3-star general, and he gave me 15 minutes of his time and looked me in my eye to tell me about a crash that I was asking for. And I would never thought when I first started this that I would be sitting in such presence. So I tell all of you guys, all of us, black women, young girls, all of us, you don't have to take no for an answer. And you don't have to be in the system, and you don't have to be on welfare. You don't have to do all that. All you need to understand is you can have the same thing everybody have. You just have to work a little bit harder.
Now, and I'm going to leave you alone after this. Just transition on how you go from Alaska to coming to Michigan. Because you're not even you from Florida.
How I came here is I was looking for a plane that's actually in there, that's outside of Lieutenant Moody's plane. And the gentleman who actually is working on the site contacted me, since I have a lot of research, and he asked me would I help him find the next of kin for Lieutenant Moody. It took me a while, but I actually went on all the social medias, and this gentleman did not have social presence. So I sat down and hand wrote him a letter and put my business card in it, and he actually received it. So I went the old-fashioned way. Well, a lot of you guys don't understand that because you come from the technology world, but this man had not. And I spoke with him the first time, and he cried because he told me when he received that piece of mail that it meant a lot to him, because he knew I took a lot of time to track him down when it came a piece of mail versus social media. So I was invited out here to actually get a chance to witness a group called NAB, National Association for Black Scuba Divers. I watched them and diving with the purpose. I watched them go down there and actually dive and touch and see Lieutenant Moody's plane that sits on the surface of Lake Huron. So that's how I came here, because I was actually asked to contact the next of kin for Lieutenant Moody. So that's how I came here to Huron, to Michigan, to this beautiful place, and I'm headed back home to Tampa, Florida.
Wow. Thank you so much, Miss Anderson.
Thank you for letting me tell my story.
So I'm telling y'all, if y'all not moved by that story, if you black, white, green, yellow, or purple, then something wrong with your human heart. Something's wrong with your human heart. I'm telling you, because I mean that's just the whole weekend, just being here, and I'm standing on the shoulders of the Tuskegee Airmen, and this memorial is going on, and then to meet so many wonderful. I was in a room full of unicorns. I didn't know black people died at like this. I didn't understand so many. My brain has been exploding with lots of just encouraging information and lots of just, I don't even know how to explain it. And y'all know I don't really run out of words when I speak, but it's just been beautiful. And to meet her and her story, saying that she's not going to take no for an answer, and she went and she found what she was looking for. She found what she was looking for. If you don't inspire your young daughters, and you young ladies aren't inspired to go and accomplish your goals, you need to look in the mirror and reassess yourself and tell yourself that you need to do better. Because you can. Because I'm doing it, and I'm doing it, and she, from her story, I'm saying I need to look in the mirror and reassess myself and say I need to do more, do better. So I just wanted y'all to hear that story. And this is probably going to be my last live for today, for this whole event. But I'm glad I ended it with Miss Anderson, because it's just awesome. It's amazing. It's inspiring. And I'm looking to be able to volunteer and get involved and help where I can. I might even start diving. I might become a seahorse or some kind of dolphin or something, just, because this is amazing. But thank y'all. This is George F. Grundy II, your favorite veteran. I'm out.